Okay, so this summer, team call time is different. We're going back to Saturday morning, except it's 8:30 a.m. and it is not every single week. Okay. We will do regularly scheduled Sundays at 8 p.m. through June 4th. And June 4th is going to be a call from Meg Slope and Tiffany. So you definitely want to be there for that, but that will be our last one Sunday at 8 p.m. Okay. So summer dates are June 17th at 8:30 a.m. That one will be Summit Prep. So if you are going to Summit, you definitely need to be there. And even if you're not going to Summit, it will be a good one for you to be at because you'll know how to share about Summit while we're gone, because that's an important thing for you to do too if you plan on building your business. Okay. So July, there are two. The first one is July 1st, 8:30 a.m. And the second one is July 22nd at 8:30 a.m. And then August, we're going to revisit that in July. I'll update you when we'll go back to regularly scheduled weekly. Once fall rolls around, I am switching back to Saturday mornings. I think just as a general consensus, the feel is that we like Saturday mornings. I like it personally. I don't like missing bedtime. I know it's just one time a week, but it's just not a great time for me anymore. So switching back to mornings on Saturdays in the fall. Okay. So the other thing I wanted to mention is because we're not doing team calls every single week, one of my plans is to be intentional about doing mini trainings in the team page. That way you still hear from me, you still see me and each other. So don't be surprised if I text you and I get you in for a date that I want you to go live. It's going to be up to you. Whenever you want to will be fine, but I'll be reaching out to you to do those live trainings as well. Like 5 to 10 minutes, something that's working. I'll give you topics and you can pick the time or day. Okay. I feel like there was something else with that. Oh, I know. Yes. Shelby and Caitlin have come up with some June work hours. She just posted them in the chat. It's just going to be live, like action hours / power hours. Shelby will be leading Mondays at 7 a.m. Central. And Caitlin will be leading Wednesdays at 6 a.m. Central. So if you want to hop on for those, you can do that. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to get on as much as I can, but we know that summer is really crazy. So hop on when you can, but don't feel like you absolutely have to be there. They're going to be amazing though. So it is going to be some intentional time to sit down and work in the summer when summer is like crazy and all over the place. If you hear that and you're like, gosh, none of those don't work for me and I would love to be a part of that, you feel free to pick a time and throw it on there. And we will say, we'll have a third one or a fourth one. Anybody who wants to have a consistent work time, Hannah, that would be perfect. If you want to pick a time later and do a consistent one time a week, I think that would be amazing and really helpful. And it will still help us feel like we're seeing each other and having community when we're not meeting every single week. So just let me know and we can add that. It will be right here on this link. And if you have people who work out on this link throughout the week, just let them know they're not interrupting anything. They're more than welcome to be there. They don't I know it could be weird to hop on and they see everybody working or whatever, or silent with just their faces working. Just let them know they're totally welcome to still use our link during that time. Okay. All right. I think that's it for the announcements moving into summer. And really what I want you to do tonight is to think about the flow you want for summer. I don't know if your summer is super busy or super relaxed, or if you have children who are home for the summer, or if you travel a lot. We all have something else going on this summer. Everybody's schedule is very different, but you being here tonight or you watching the recording tells me that you want to grow your business through summer. We know that. Okay. So the thing I'm going to ask you to do right now is reflect on where you are in your business activities. If you are new, if you're like, what the heck are the business activities? This is also perfect for you because you can figure out, what do I actually need to do to grow my business and where am I going to fit it in my life this summer? And I'm going to be honest with you. I've had an influx of people lately who have told me, like people on our team who feel like they can't juggle this because life is too crazy. And what I want to say to that, right off the bat, is that's the best thing about this job. no matter how crazy your life is, I have 1000% confidence that you can fit this in if you have a purpose for doing it. You get to use your health to create a job and invite people in. And especially in summer, I'm going to encourage you to ask yourself, what do you need? Like, where have you been struggling in your health? And what do you need to do this summer to feel your absolute best? So let's start there, okay? The first thing we do as coaches is we take care of ourselves. So I want you to take a second, however you want to rate yourself. I don't care if you want to write it down, however you want to do this, it's fine. But how is your journey right now? How are you feeling in your physical body? Think about nutrition. Are you currently like really in one of our nutrition programs, or are you half doing one of our nutrition programs, or are you not paying attention to it at all? Or are you just starting and you're just in the beginning phases of learning about nutrition? What program are you following right now? Which fitness program are you in? And are you giving it your all, or are you kind of half doing it? Are you being consistent and following the calendar, or are you taking rest days when you have a scheduled workout? So reflect right now, score yourself however you want to, and give yourself a second to ask, how am I doing? Just taking care of myself. Okay, now moving into summer. Summer is a different season, I imagine, for everybody. No matter what phase of life you're in, no matter what kind of job you have, summer is just different for us. Okay, so I want you to ask yourself, what do I need moving into summer to be a 5? I did mine 1 through 5. I don't know how you ranked yourself, but like, what do I need to be at the top of that? What do I need to be a 5 for me in nutrition and workouts, specifically for summertime? Okay, so just let me give you an example. Lately, I normally get my workouts in before my kids are awake. But summer is really different for us because Ethan's home. So I want to ask myself, what is my flow with workouts going to be in the summer? I want to sleep in, but I need to ask myself, like, is that going to keep me at a 5? Because right now I'm doing perfect with my workouts. Like, I'm loving them, I'm getting them in, I'm being consistent. And I need to ask myself, what do I need to do to continue being there? Okay. My nutrition, I rated a little bit lower. So I want to ask myself, how can I stay consistent in the summer? What do I need to do to make sure that I'm staying on track with my nutrition throughout the summer? Because if there's one thing I know, you guys, following the programs, and more specifically, getting results and actually feeling good is the driving force in your business. If you throw your workouts to the wayside, or even if you're not enjoying them at all, if you find yourself dreading your workouts, your business isn't going to thrive. Because how can you invite people to do it with you if you're not even enjoying it? Same with your nutrition. I feel like, no, I don't feel like, I know that you will feel your absolute best when your nutrition is in check. And following one of our 3 programs, whether you're doing gut protocol, tubing mindset, portion fix, if you are following it, like really following it, you're going to be feeling really good. And you show up differently when you feel really good. And summer, it can be either way for me, but I do find that I can get more fly by the seat of my pants in the summer, or we eat out more in the summer, and I want to make sure I have a plan. So ask yourself right now and write some things down of, how can I make sure I'm on my game throughout the summer with my specific flow of life with nutrition and workouts, and maybe jot down some things that you need to do to make sure you're doing it well. Okay, next one I want to ask you about is inviting and connections. So you don't have to work this business the exact same every single day. I don't work my business the exact same every day. I've been really like straightforward about that, but it is extremely important that you invite and connect on a consistent basis. If you're skipping one or the other, your business won't grow because the meat of the work we do is just talking to people. If you don't talk to people, they're not just going to flood your inbox because they're excited to watch your social media every day. Will you have one here and there? Yes, you will. But I'm always amazed at the responses I get when I actually reach out to people who are interested, but probably just didn't think to message me or didn't make the time to message me, but they're thankful that I reach out and say, hey, I have a program coming up. Do you want to do it with me? That is an invite. Okay. Connections, I think, are especially important. Shelby and I were chatting about this today at the beginning of your business, because I think it's actually pretty easy to get people enrolled in working out with you at the beginning, because you're going through the people who already like, know, and trust you. You probably have friends who are ready and willing to work out with you because they want to support you, because they're interested in what you're doing. But it gets to about month 3 and you're like, I don't know anybody else. Like, I've exhausted my list of people. And that's why it's super important to just connect with people daily from day one. Okay. We have extensive trainings other places for what that looks like, but I'm going to give you a very simple definition. It is connecting with people and building relationships with people without bringing up your business. Meeting new people. That's what it is. And that can be in person or that can be online. That can be at church. That can be at the gym. That could be at the park. That could be when you're out shopping. Literally making space in your life to build new relationships. And it is super important that you also have no strings attached to that. Like, you're building relationships in hopes that, yes, you want to help them, you want to serve them, you want to help them with workouts and nutrition and all of that, but you're okay if you don't do that either. You're building that connection in hopes. But if not, great, you have a new friend, you made a new connection, you made somebody smile, and you never know when they'll come back around. So it's super important that you're starting to connect with people today. And if you've been doing your business for a while and you're not doing that, start doing that. When you meet new people and they ask you what you do for a job, include this. When you meet new people, wherever you're meeting people, add them on Facebook, and then they're naturally going to see what you're doing. I love that when I meet somebody in real life and then they start following me on Instagram or Facebook and they can naturally see what I'm doing instead of me like giving them a pitch in person. Relationships first, and then hopefully they come around and you're able to serve them in your business as well. Okay. So ask yourself, separate them. How are your connections going? Are you making space? And I'm going to say weekly, because I'm not a daily checklist person of I make connections this many times a day, I invite this many times a day, but I am doing both weekly. So on a week-to-week basis, rate yourself with connections and specific invites. And to be clear, an invite is, hey, I'm starting this workout program on the 12th. Do you want to do it with me? And a connection is meeting somebody new or starting a conversation with somebody new about anything, literally anything, not related to business. Okay, I assume it doesn't take you very long to rate yourself. You know yourself. And I'm going to go ahead and give you the answer for what I want you to do. I want you to think about when in your summer, and you might even need to take this week by week. You may not be able to do this for like even all of June right now, but when in your days can you carve out time to specifically sit down and make connections and invite people? And I want you to put a time and a day on it, because I think that's really important. Just like any other job, you need to tell yourself, like, I have this margin in my day and that's where I want to show up and do it. And I want you, this again could be a completely different call, but I want you to think about at what time of day are you going to be most energized to do it? And it could be different. If you've been doing this for a while, like what part of your day in the summer specifically is this going to work best for you? Do you need to wake up before everybody else is awake and do that? Like Hannah said, do you feel best about it right after your workout? Can you crank out some invites and connections right after because you're so excited? Or maybe it's like you spend the day with your family and you go to the pool, you spend time in the sun, and after that, you feel relaxed and ready to go and you want to invite after that. Or maybe it's late at night after the whole family goes to bed. But when can you carve out time? And at the very least, I want you to think about this every single week. When you start your week, like Sunday night, think about, when am I going to sit down and do this intentionally? And I think these power hours that I talked about are going to be really important for the summer. You know, people are there. If you need accountability, you tell somebody, hey, I want to work my business Mondays and Wednesdays. And I also want to be honest with you, you don't actually have to do it every single day. Like I do this full time, you guys, and I don't sit down and do connections and invites every single day. I do lots of connections throughout a month. I do lots of invites throughout a month, but I'm not sitting down and carving out very specific intentional work time every single day. Like that's going to wear on you, I think. But a few times a week, you really need to make it your mission to do that. Otherwise, your business is not going to grow. Okay. All right. I'm going to move on to the next one, which is basically serving people and helping people get results. So if you're new, this is just in our challenge groups. You can run them on BOD groups. You can do it on Facebook. You can literally however you want. You can do it in person. This is your actual job. This is how you help people get results. This is how you're inspiring and encouraging and answering their questions and just doing the journey with them. Okay. I feel like I need to make mention that with our switch, like you don't have to take the pressure of like, it is not your responsibility to get them results. If they're not getting results, it is not your fault. If they're not checking in with you, if they're not responding to your messages, it is not your fault. You can release that. That is the one thing I do like about the switch to partner is we get to really just be alongside them. You're not the expert. You're the person who says, look, I'm not quitting. And that's the power behind what we get to do. You are their steady, constant person that they can look to and say, hey, they are not quitting this journey and they're my inspiration to keep going because I just at the very least know they're going to be there through the ups and downs of life. So I want you to ask yourself, how is your challenge group going right now? Are you enjoying it? Do you need to make a change? Reflect on that for just a couple seconds. Okay, now I want to give you the freedom to completely rethink your challenge groups for the summer. That's something that Shelby and I did today when we worked together is we both need simplicity for the summer. We are both so busy. We are both out of town so much that we are actually stripping it all down. We don't actually have we normally have like heavy content aside from body, but we are going to lean heavily this summer on body's content. Because we don't actually have the time. We're not going to be able to get together and plan very much. If you don't know, Shelby and I run our groups together. Not everybody does it like that. But we just need it to be as simple as can be. So like today, we scheduled out anything we wanted to schedule for June. And we'll probably do the same thing for the whole month of July because we need it to be simple. We need it to be something that's not super time consuming. So you need to ask yourself, what's going to bring you joy in your challenge group this summer? How can you run it that in ways that release pressure but still help people still feel supported and seen in their journey? What are some things you can do to mix it up, to have fun, to rethink it, to think outside the box? And I'm going to challenge you to do that for June. Like, what program do you need to do? Do you need to do shorter workouts because you're gone all the time? Can you dig in and do longer workouts because you're home more? Like, what is it in your life? And I'm going to also encourage you to not think about all of the people that you want to serve. The best way to run your challenge groups is to think, what do I need? And run them accordingly, because you will be so passionate. You'll be so full of joy about what you're promoting that it will come out of you so naturally that people will want to do it with you. Your journey is about you, and you get to attract people who need the same thing that you're chasing. So don't go planning your summer about what you think everybody else needs. Because if I did that, my challenge group wouldn't be helpful for me. I'm very aware that most people are not on the road as much as my family is, but we're gone most weekends. So I want to run my groups in a way that serves me and my health journey so I can get results. And I know I'm going to attract the people on the way who need the same exact thing. And you need to do that. Okay. So you probably can't really come up with a lot of what I'm asking you to do on the spot right now, but you can rewatch this. You have your notes. You can take time and really think about it. Okay. All right. Last thing is PD. So, again, if you are new, this part is probably the most overlooked part of our business, but it is probably the best part because we get to work on ourselves from the inside out. And something something I used to say a lot is I changed from the outside in, and that's my specific story that I cared way more about the workouts and the nutrition and all of that. And it took me about 9 months to actually start like implementing PD, and it changed everything in my business because it gave me purpose and it gave me vision and it gave me mission. So PD is taking care of your inner self, of your mind and of your heart and soul. It is the way you are growing on the inside, and it has nothing to do with your workouts or your nutrition or anything that you're doing on the outside. It's how your mind and soul are growing. Okay. So, first, I want to ask you, are you doing PD? And I want to make a distinction between professional and personal. So, I think by and large, most of us are better at personal than we are professional. And I want to challenge you to really sink into both this summer. Or maybe if you do more personal, I'm going to push you more into professional. And if you are really heavy on professional, I want to push you into personal. But again, this needs to be completely personal to you. So, personal development, think of the things that you need to grow in as a person. So, like, for example, if you came to me and you said, like, I'm really struggling in my marriage right now, I would say, okay, well, let's find you some personal development that has to do with marriage. Or maybe you're really struggling with time management, which really could be either, I guess, or organization, or I don't know, just personal traits. That's what you're working on with personal development. A lot of us, I would say, use our faith as our personal development, like our Bible time. That is definitely personal. Does it influence our professional? Yes, but they're very different. Professional development is the nitty gritty that will help you improve your business. So, like, social media training. Maybe you're struggling with how to create reels and you want to read up or watch some videos on how to create reels. Maybe you are really struggling with how to structure your challenge groups. Well, I would say go to the Body Podcast and try to find some Body podcasts about challenge groups. Maybe you don't understand how we make money. So this summer, maybe you want to dig into the compensation plan and how team cycle bonuses work, how you get to 2-star, what the star diamond bonuses are. Maybe that's something that you really need to focus in on. So professional is very much business related. Okay. And I want to challenge you to do both of them. So one thing I saw today, I was reading something and it was really talking about Bible time and like stripping it down to, I don't want to say the bare minimum, but like the most important thing. So it said, like, pick a book of the Bible and read it all summer. When you finish it, start it again. And I thought that's so cool to, like, you're still doing it, but you're going deep instead of going wide. So maybe you pick one book for the summer, and maybe your whole goal is to read just 10 pages a day. And by the end of July, you're through the book. I'm not asking you to do something crazy, but just every single day, focus a little bit on how you're growing on the inside and make it part of your summer. Where can you fit it in? If you are super busy, maybe it needs to be a podcast over when you do chores. If you're on the road a lot, maybe you need to listen while you drive. If you're going to the beach, you want to take a book along with you that helps you grow. That's what this is all about. So that's one for sure that you're probably going to have to take some time after this, but I don't want you to skip this over the summer because I feel like this is one of them that could easily be thrown to the wayside, especially if you're busy, because it's like, okay, the most important thing, the money-making thing, it's probably connections and invites, if we're being honest, but they all work together. You can't really have one without the other because all of them impact each other, okay? And what I really want to hone in on is I want this to be your summer to thrive, both personally and professionally. You really can have both. I really believe that. If you carve out I'm telling you, even 30 minutes a day of really intentional work before the day starts, you're going to move your business forward this summer. It doesn't have to last all day long. In fact, it should not last all day long. I moved my business forward most when I was working as a full-time teacher and volleyball coach. That's just the honest truth. Busy people get things done. So carve out the time. Think about your specific summer and how each of these can fit into this season that's probably been different than the rest of 2023 so far. Give yourself permission to shift things around, to lean into a new season and thrive in summer.